One of the nicest side trips that you can make from Lake Bled is here to Lake Bohinj, which is actually a larger, deeper lake, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's in the middle of the Triglav National Park. We're gonna go do some really nice drive around, go see the Tolmin Gorge and go see Bovek and maybe do some nice hikes. So this is going to be a great little trip. I'm glad you guys decided to join us, and if you enjoy it, then get yourself here and do it responsibly and follow and subscribe and all that good stuff. But it is time for us to get on the road and get to enjoying some nature, baby.
Lake Bled is beautiful and you could spend a few days there, but I definitely recommend taking some time and going to some of the day trips. The first place we went to is not far from Bled at all, Lake Bohinj in Triglav National Park. And it was beautiful and quite an experience.
It didn't cost anything to come into the national park, which I thought was crazy. There's a lot of waterfalls and things out here, a lot of water sports when it's a little bit warmer. I can imagine coming out here and spending a whole day just kayaking around here. It is the largest permanent lake in all of Slovenia. There's another lake, I can't even pronounce it, but it fills up part of the year and then it becomes completely empty. But this one's full right now and it looks beautiful. Maybe I'll go dip my feet in it. I would say that the most attractive thing to do here is to hike all the way around the lake. But for today, we're just gonna do a little hike and there's this really cool church off in the distance.
One thing I love about all these really cool old cities is their churches are just amazing. I love the style of architecture, and this one has a nice like painted mural on the side. Just really beautiful. Plus the backdrop of the mountains is just incredible.
I thought that this was just a beautiful church, but it turns out that this goes all the way back to the late 10th century, so it's over 1,000 years old, and it also has the designation as the world's oldest musical bell tower. It actually plays a song, and it was the first of its type to ever do that. So quite a cool piece of history just sitting here in probably one of the more beautiful valleys that I've seen recently.
It is a really cool old church and there's all these beautiful painted walls, so spend some time, walk around the outside, and then I recommend paying the couple of dollars to go inside. It is a really pretty chapel. There's a lot of beautiful paintings inside as well. And then if you want to, you can pay even more to go up to the bell tower. And we didn't want to pay for both of us, so I just sent Dad up there.
In case you want to sing along when the bells go off. They only go off a couple of times a year on special occasions where they actually play music from this anymore. They'll go off on the hour and half hour, which I'm kind of hoping I'm not going to be up here for because it might be deafening. Quite a commanding view up here. So the musical apparatus is this little wooden thing.
Yes. Look at it. Watch the doors.
Nice. I would love to hear that and see how much it resonates.
Let's pump it up and see.
Yeah.
Ask and you shall receive.
Hope Dad got earbuds.
As much as I was hoping to hear them play that nice little musical instrument, there's this thing called a cell phone, and I could look at it and it tells time.
Wow, that's novel.
It's pretty amazing, and so I should have done that, and so should have the other ladies who were up there, because we were like deaf. We're holding our hands up against our ears. My ears might still be ringing now, and it's been like months and months since we were there. So I went and walked around a little bit, hoping that my tinnitus would calm down. It has not. So nobody tell the VA on me, but I think that I might need like even more tinnitus treatments.
Yeah, but it was nice to walk around. You get some really pretty views of the church. There's even a really famous one, which is great for Instagram. So it's really nice, and it was such a great day.
Yeah, and it was time to hit the road, and you guys know how I like a nice drive. This was a nice windy drive to go see some really beautiful things.
Scotia Valley is this big area, and it's really beautiful. It's right in the middle of the Julian Alps, and there's a lot of really awesome things to do there if you're there when it's warmer.
Yeah, so the top ones for me would be canyoneering or going whitewater rafting, but a little secret about me being from Florida and living in Hawaii so long, I hate wetsuits. So we just avoided the water altogether and decided to go on a really cool hike.
Another thing to do in Scotia Valley is go on hikes, and there are quite a few beautiful hikes. We decided to go on one that was a gorge because we really like gorge hikes, and the water on this hike was gorgeous.
The Tolmin Gorge is the highlight of our road trip today in Slovenia, and as you can see behind me, there are beautiful colors in the water here, and that is mostly due to the fact that this is fed from a glacial spring, so that gorgeous color that we can see is all from mineral deposits bubbling up through those glacial waters, and man, is it beautiful.
It starts out really open and beautiful, but then it starts getting closed in and there's all these little tunnels. It kind of reminds me of the Partnock Gorge in Garmisch-Partenkirk.
This is the end of the road.
And the end, my friend.
And although we come to the end.
I thought we weren't gonna sing on this one.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you want to see us sing really off key and horribly, especially my brother Alan, you guys need to go back and watch this video. But for right now, we'll kind of spare you and move on with our tour. There's what looks to be a really sweet trail on here, but it's just outside of the regular park. It does say you can come back in within 15 minutes, so I'm just gonna head up, take a couple of pictures, and get back while my ticket's still good.
When you first start your hike, you get this nice map with all these little points that talk about the different viewpoints and things to see along the way. And so we found our other way out and we wanted to go see this cool bridge. Along the way, we saw some rock formations that supposedly look like bears and things, but I don't know, you guys let me know.
Probably one of the better viewpoints for the whole gorge. You really get a scope of everything that's going on down there. You can also drive up here. We're considering doing that just to see what the view is like up above here. I watched a YouTuber who was super sketched out by this bridge, but it's much more stable than some of the ones we saw in the Himalayas. So not too scared myself. And the next day trip that I would suggest you definitely don't want to miss if you're in Lake Bled for any time is to go to Ljubljana. Ljubljana was very impressive. I actually wish we would have spent more time there. The architecture was just beautiful and it was intact. And so one of the few capital cities in all of Europe that hasn't been bombed in hundreds of years. So that alone was just magical.
Yeah, it's a really great place just to walk around, get lost in the city, do some people watching, and just admire that architecture because it really is beautiful. So there's hardly anybody there, so you got some good opportunities to take Instagram photos. I really love the fountains. There were a bunch of different fountains, but this one in particular was really amazing.
I loved all of that. Another thing, something we didn't talk about on the little road trip part earlier is that there's like bees everywhere. There's these beehives, beehives. And that's because they have the most beehives per capita in the world.
Wow.
And so they do some pretty cool things with honey.
Yeah, and we had some really delicious honey at this little shop here.
So we stopped in a local honey shop and they have a typical Slovenian liquor made with honey. And she said that in the wintertime at the Christmas market, they serve it hot. And of course in summer they serve it cold. But it smells really fruity and has a really strong honey flavor. So I'm excited to try it. It's like a syrupy, sweet, honey flavored liquor. It's delicious.
It's really good. It's like candy.
Like candy. I would agree.
And for those of you who have been following along on Instagram and some of our recent stuff, we plant trees everywhere that we go now. And I'll make a deal with you. The next time that any of you go to Slovenia, and some of you are probably planning that right now, if you send me a case, I will plant 100 trees in your name because I love that stuff. But message me for my address because I'm not going to put it in the comments or anything.
Yeah, I mean, if I think about it hard enough, I can taste that honey liqueur. It was amazing. One of the things that makes Ljubljana special is the waterways and all the bridges. There's a bunch of different bridges. Some of them have like statues of dragons, and we'll talk about more of that later. And then there's some that are just really popular, like the Triple Bridge, which is probably one of the most popular parts of the whole city.
So we're just right here by the river. A really nice little square. They call this the Triple Bridge. And if you notice all the trees along here, this is actually the green capital of Europe, they say. It's the greenest city in Europe, the most trees per capita. It's very beautiful. It's very well preserved because it wasn't bombed during World War II, which is nice. And just kind of an enjoyable day trip from Bled.
Behind me is the Ljubljana Castle, and it looks like a nice castle. I think it costs about 10 euros to go in. Unfortunately, I didn't really have enough time to do it today, but it's really pretty to look at from a distance, and I hear it has great views of the city.
Speaking of castles, if you guys look at the Ljubljana flag, you'll see that there's a castle and then there's a dragon. Dragons are really important to the city. The rumor is that there was a dragon there a long time ago in the Delta, long before the city was there. And then the Greek hero Jason sailed through that river in order to get back home to Greece. And in his journey, he killed the dragon. And the funny thing is he actually left some of his crewmate there and they inhabited the area. And so the inhabitants of Ljubljana are actually descendants of the crew of Jason.
Oh, well, that's really interesting, and I had a great time there, really. I mean, honestly, I think that there's a very good chance that this is where we're going to buy our summer home, is in Slovenia. Everything's super affordable, especially the food. And so on our next episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what to eat here and all the great things that we ate, and suggest that you try yourself.
Yeah, it was awesome, really delicious. And we ate a lot. So you guys will have quite a few options when you come there. And I hope you guys get there soon because it's such a cool city. I really do wish that we had more time there. And when you guys come, send pictures. Maybe let us know if you're coming. Maybe we'll meet you there. It was really awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be back in 2026 on our drive around the world, and we hope that you find yourself tuning in every week to see what we're up to, and then find yourself in Ljubljana or in Lake Bled. And as always, find yourself on the journey.